Josh, and this episode is brought to you by Great Lakes Discs. Whether you're looking for cool new gear or your new favorite disc, Great Lakes Discs has what you need. Click the link in the link tree and you will see the Great Lakes Discs link. Click that and start your shopping today. While you're on the DSP link tree, you will also see a link for Ideo Sports. If you want to take your game to the next level, make sure you get Ideo shoes on your feet. The only disc golf shoes made by disc golfers for disc golfers. Also use my discount code disc.seeker to save money on your next order. So really quick, now I'm reading that. What are you wearing for your shoes? Are you wearing Ideo Sports?
No, but I actually after this weekend, as a small disc golf company myself, they kind of hit home, and so like I'm a supporter, right? So right now I wear really whatever. I'll wear regular Vans, like the checkered Vans on the course. Like I'm not picky. If it's rainy, I have like a cheap pair of Kohl's weatherproof shoes, that I wear. It's like a no-name brand. But I probably should invest into a nice pair of quality shoes. So, and I looked into after that story posted, I'm sure it helped a lot too. I was like, wait, I don't know much about them. So then of course, like I looked online, I'm like, sweet, so they have some great products.
Yeah, I have the brand new Brawlers, and dude, those things are phenomenal. Like I was a little skeptical about the ankle support. Like I have on my show, and I was like, I don't know, man. And then I tried it, I'm like, dude, this is a game changer. Like I don't have to wear my ankle brace anymore when I play. I could just throw those on and go.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I watched it on your thing when he was talking about the technology, and I'm like, well, there you go. That's disc golf right there. So that fact that you can say you created something for disc golf, it's almost a no-brainer.
Yeah, definitely. So without further ado, I'll let my guest fully introduce himself, where he's from, and how did he even get into disc golf?
Yeah, so my name's Adam Molbeck. I'm from Racine, Wisconsin, but Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And I'm co-owner with my wife of Parfection Disc Golf. And we started last year at the end of June. So it's been a fun ride. And yeah, disc golf, man, it's a sport that brings everybody together, right? And so it was just it's just crazy. Like I played with my buddy Tim for the first time, and we were down in Pekin, right? And I almost quit disc golf right away because we were on. I think it's where Ledgestone literally has their stuff, and I didn't know this at the time. I had no idea what Discraft, Ledgestone, any of that was, and this is probably like 2015 or something. And I remember I got to like hole 9 or something, and I'm probably wrong, but it was like 900 feet. And it took me like 25 throws, and I was like, what is disc golf? This is stupid. I'm going to go to golf. I'm like way over par, and that was just one hole. So I said, screw this. But then as, we got closer, I moved to Arizona, and we had really beautiful courses, which we'll touch on later. And then moving back home during the pandemic, and the local community here is really strong and really good. And it really got me back in, and it's so cool that you can, like, I started playing leagues just randomly, and I have a 50-plus-year-old on my team, literally like all walks of life. It's kind of crazy, and we're all there just for the same goal, to go out, have fun, and chuck some discs at some baskets. And so, yeah, that's kind of just how I got into disc golf in the last year. It's been, I really started playing, I guess, more competitive as of like June of last year. So I've only had a PDGA number for less than a year, not even a year. So it's been fun, and I encourage everyone to do it. I love playing both, casually and competitive. And it just makes you a better person too. So.
Yeah. So did you meet your wife out disc golfing, or did you meet her well before disc golfing and now you take her out for dates?
Yeah. No, I've been married for a long time. So we actually went to high school together, and then we reconnected after, and we've been married for almost 15 years now. We have, more, and we have a 14-year-old kid. Yeah, I mean, she's all in on disc golf. She likes to play. Our kid broke his hip 2 years ago. So when we were looking at things to get him back into, disc golf was kind of easy. A lot of walking, you're out in the woods, and it's building up that strength. So he might not like disc golf as much, but he was out there walking, throwing, just to kind of build up his muscles again and get back, because he couldn't walk for like over 6 months. So disc golf was kind of a nice crutch for that.
Yeah. So out of you three, who beats who every time you guys go out as a family?
Of course, me. I beat them all. I'm ready to pop her head up, but no, Ashley's actually really good. She has a good throw, but she's only been playing for a year and a half or whatever. So she and then she was in an accident and hurt her leg, so slowed her down a little bit. So we just got to get her back on the course, and she'll rip it. I think one thing I love to see when I'm running my tournaments and things is the amount of women and kids that come out and play. Like I want to keep growing it that way too, and not just a very man heavy sport, I guess.
Yeah. So what is the disc golf scene like in your area? Is there like a lot of leagues going on throughout the week and a lot of tournaments on weekends, or is it kind of like scattered here or there?
No, there's leagues all the time. I think Mondays, once leagues start, we got Mondays, Tuesdays. I think there's Thursday leagues. I think there's Sunday leagues. So yeah, there's leagues, and it's all kind of spread out between all these courses. Most of the cities are really supportive of it too because it gets people out and into the neighborhoods and parks. So yeah, I would say it's really really strong actually, and that's one of the reasons that helped me grow and do this too. So
That's really cool. Do you TD any
yep.
events or okay, which ones do you TD?
So we threw we threw 3 tournaments last year since June. So only starting in June. And then we held a PDGA sanctioned league from October to December of last year. And then this year, we have like 10 events lined up. We have our first B tier that we're working with the city of Oak Creek that funded it, which is awesome because a lot of cities don't fund disc golf tournaments. So the fact that they wanted to be part of it and they looked at it as a part of tourism, right? So they're like, we're going to do a 2-day B tier. We want you to head it up. And then we partnered with National Amateur Disc Golf Tour to kind of make it on the route, right? So that you can get amateur points and get invited to October. So we're kind of like the end point for that, which is awesome because it's at the end of September. So we're expecting a pretty good turnout. And then like if we can get any hotel stays within those 2 days, I mean, that's bonus to the city. They're looking at it from that point. We included the local disc golf shop. They're throwing the night. We're doing a 2-round, 2-day event. So after the night of the first round, they're throwing like an MVP space race for everybody because everyone's gonna be staying there, right? So they're involved. We're gonna have a vendor village. So that's cool. Kind of crazy to say within your first year that you're setting up your first B tier. So that's awesome.
That's pretty cool. And with where you live, are you guys able to play all year round, or you guys just have a winter where it's like, all right, putting league now?
I mean, there is courses that do close down, right? And they pull the baskets out. The course that's literally in our town does not do that. So you could, like we were playing in a foot of snow at one time with one of our leagues. So you can go out there, you might freeze your butt off and, throw really bad, I guess. But no, you could for the most part find a course that's open and play.
That's pretty cool. So do you find yourself playing more casual rounds, or are you starting to find yourself more doing competitive rounds?
Tournaments wise, it's usually sanctioned. If I'm doing leagues, I don't care if it's PDGA sanctioned or not. Usually the leagues that aren't PDGA sanctioned are a little more fun, a little more relaxing, and then the weekends can be for when you're grinding out a tournament, right? I hate to worry about ratings and stuff, so I don't want to get to my head, but definitely a lot more. I guess it's a good mix, right? On weekends are for tournaments, for the competitive, and the weekdays are for the fun.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So, how much do you practice? And when you practice, do you enjoy doing more practice rounds, or are you kind of like a fieldwork junkie or a putting junkie?
Yeah, so I'm definitely a fieldwork person. So every day, almost, if it's nice out, there's a little course right by me. It's like a little 9-hole course. Like I think it's all par threes, and I thumb the disc 90% of the time, and I turbo putt. It's the most goofiest.
Ooh.
It's the goofiest thing, right? But so daily I'm practicing my backhand, forehand, because obviously I need to know that, right? I can't thumb every disc, every situation. If it goes to the left, I can't thumb it because it's gonna go to the right. I got to figure out something, right? and I'd rather not just shank it into the woods. So yeah, I like to. I'm a field work junkie. I'll play. I'll get out there every day and throw a couple for an hour, just to work on that. But yeah, so a little bit. But like I said, once leagues and all that starts, I like to. Then we'll be playing 2 leagues throughout the week, and then probably a tournament weekend, right? So 3 days out of the week is kind of a lot.
Yeah, so you're pretty dialed in by the time weekend comes around.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So for those who don't know, what actually is turbo putting?
All right, let's see. So like I actually, all right. So there's a few different ways, right? So when you turbo putt, like, ooh, hold on, what's going on? I had a thing pop up. Sorry.
You're good.
When so it's basically here, and then you put it, and you just let go of the finger and release it. Since I've been playing a lot more, and I think I watched a video like Scott Stokely actually, and he was showing how one of the weaknesses is wind when you turbo putt because you're throwing straight at and right. When you're holding it like this, the wind gets all wobbly. So the trick that I do is I kind of tuck a finger under here underneath the rim. So then when I putt, the wind's, I got a lot of control. The wind's under there, and then I just let go of that. And you want a good clean spin, essentially. But I like to say like I'm pretty good at it. Yeah, we were at putting leagues, and I can hit a 50-footer. It's kind of insane through like a Mando. It's kind of insane. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna hit it every time, but the fact that I can turbo putt that just kind of blows people's mind. But it's how I learned too, so that's all I've done, right?
Yeah.
So, I can't probably putt normal. I'll try, but yeah, definitely that's turbo. I like it.
Yeah. So what made you decide, hey, I want to learn how to turbo putt instead of learning like a spin putt or like a push putt?
I don't even know. I think the first person I ever disc golfed with, my buddy Tim, I think that's how he did it. And so that's just all I knew. We were baseball guys. So like thumber was easy, turbo, it's kind of easy too, all like pitching wise, right? So turbo just came kind of natural, I guess. So I've never even when I first started, putting was probably my strong suit. Not saying I would hit everything, but it was at least going where I wanted it to, whether it was just low or high, right?
That's pretty cool. So when you're doing approach shots or up shots, are you forehanding those or backhanding those?
Yeah, approach. So actually this year it's kind of different, right? So that's kind of like my weird tricky spot. If I'm thumbing, then I get close, but it's not turbo distance, right? This year I've been going to my knee and throwing from my knees. For whatever reason, backhand from my knees I can actually do, and it's nearly flawless. Like it's kind of crazy. But last year, just stand still, arm, I would grip lock it, it would go to the right or whatever. So weirdly, going to my knee on an approach shot has kind of been my savior.
That's pretty cool.
So I don't know if there's some reason like I can't move my legs a certain way. I'm assuming it's something like that where it keeps me in place.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, I mean, I can only forehand approach. I've tried backhand, it just does not work. The whole concept of looking away from the target just does not work for me. So it's like I'll just stick to forehanding.
It's gonna sound super weird, but go to a knee one time and just do it. Like it's weird. I don't know, but it works.
Yeah, I'll have to try it.
You're gonna feel weird doing it, and you're like, why am I on my knee? But you can control it better.
Yeah. So what are your top 5 courses that you have played and have like really like stood out to you where like, man, I can't wait to get back to this course?
Yeah, I mean, in Arizona, like Fountain Hills, beautiful course, right? You probably seen at the Memorial Open with the fountain going off and the mountains in the background. It's kind of funny because that's kind of like when I was new to disc golf, and I wish I can go back there now and totally rip it up because it's kind of an easy course. But so like when I watch it on YouTube or whatever, but that's definitely one of my favorites. It's really pretty. Like when people come out and visit, and I tell them, "Hey, let's disc golf." They're like, "Where are we going?" And I take them there because it was pretty, right? There was another course in Phoenix called Buffalo Ridge. We would play a lot. Very, very desert compared to Fountain Hills. Throwing a thumber would eat up my discs quite a bit, but I did really enjoy that course. I'd say the best disc golf course that I've been able to play in the Midwest is probably Woodwind Park in Wheeler, Wisconsin. It's a new course. It's actually where the Midwest Disc Golf Expo was just 2 weeks
Ooh.
ago, and it's a hard course. It's probably the hardest course I've ever played. But I also threw my first 900 right around. But I think the way I thumbed through the trees, like I was like, but it was a beautiful course. It was old ski. I mean, I think it's still a ski resort too. So like I think hole 4 or something, you're throwing off the ski hill down. Like it's just really
Ooh.
pretty, right? It's really, really pretty. And they have a lot of land. So they're actually building two 18-hole courses. Right now they have their 18-hole championship level and they have gold tees and am tees. And then they have like a 9-hole what they call it, like rookie ridge. It's for rookies. It just opened like 2 weeks ago too. Um, but I could definitely see in the future some big tournaments there. They have the facilities to do concessions and you can't camp there yet, but they have the space. So I think I wouldn't be surprised to see it in the near future if they get that other course to have two 18-hole courses on the same property and championship level. It's crazy. I think they have like 150 acres up there or something. It's beautiful though.
That's really cool.
And then local, like there's a course in West Bend called Sandy Knoll. It's probably one of my favorite locals. I mean, Avonshine and Oak Creek it's an easier course, but I like it. It's my home course, so I'm there all the time. And then probably Johnson's Park down in Racine, throwing over galleys and along the river. It's really pretty, and it's a volunteer-based cleanup course. It's not really funded from the city, and they do a great job, especially for tournaments and stuff. So it's kind of cool to see the community do that too.
That's really cool. So what style do you like? Do you like wooded or do you like wide open?
Wide open is great, right? I'm not gonna hit a tree, so everyone's gonna say that. But if I'm gonna have my competitive edge for thumbing discs in the woods is what usually will put me ahead, right? Because I'm not throwing a disc, straight into a tree like this, right? I'm wrapping it like this around the tree, so I either have to hit the tree dead on or it's gonna curve around the tree, right? So that's where I'll gain a stroke on the really good people. And push through that way. So I like it both ways. If I'm being competitive, woods are kind of my thing. If I'm playing casual, I can have a little more fun and try new things on open. So there's not a real favorite, but competitively, I think I have a slight edge with woods.
Yeah. How do you feel about water carries? Do you like them, or you try and avoid the water carries as much as you can?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a crazy distance unless it's close. I mean, I'm sinking something. I'll make sure I'm throwing a disc that I'm not going to miss. I just have to, I don't have great distance, so as long as it's over, otherwise I'm screwed. Or maybe get lucky and get a skip, but who knows?
Yeah. So, speaking of discs, what are you throwing like this year? Like, what's going to be in your bag for tomorrow's tournament?
Yeah. So, I'll just start off my 3 favorite discs right now. So if I have a putter, mid-range, and a driver, the putter right now is Gateway's Ghoul. I think I have the Chandler Kramer edition. For turbo putting, I don't have one on me right now, but it's got a nice thick edge. So when I'm using my fingers to get that spin on it, it's really good grip. That's in my bag. My favorite mid-range are these Rituals from Negative, a brand not many people know about, but great plastic, does exactly what it does. And they have some really sweet designs that kind of gives Thought Space a little run for their money. So they're pretty to wall hang and they're pretty to throw and they feel great. And then drivers, oddly going back to Gateway again, the Cornerstone this year has made my bag. I love this. It's a pretty stable disc for me, and I can backhand it. I can't really thumb it, but for backhanding, that's what I've been trying to work on the most. The Cornerstone is right there. Otherwise, if I'm thumbing disc, I'm usually throwing a Axiom Fireball. So it's weakly overstable 9 speed. So I don't really throw much over a 9 speed.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool. So do you do minimalization, or do you have multiple discs that you keep in your bag?
It's funny. I probably have these 2 discs. They're the same disc, different plastic, and I'll probably have a third one in there that's a different color. So when I do hit that tree, I can say, you know what, this yellow disc sucks, but I have the same disc that's pink that might wrap around the tree. But mentally in my head, I'm like, that just makes sense. The color makes all the difference. But so I probably have 2 or 3 of each disc in there, but they're pretty all the same, just maybe different colors.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Or if I throw it into the water, I got a backup.
Yeah, and plus you have a store, so I mean you're able to just get discs if you need them.
Absolutely.
So how did you start your store? Like what made you think one day, hey, I want to start a store and this is the name it's going to be?
Yeah, so the store really was created because I was storing Gateway, and the local stores weren't carrying Gateway, and I was like, man, why don't any of the stores carry Gateway? And then I think there was like trash pan there too, and none of the stores carried trash pan. I was like, I don't want stores here carry this stuff. They all have Discraft, MVP, Innova, all those brands, but no one carried like the smaller guys. So I'm like, how hard could it be to get wholesale and start something? So in my head, that's how Parfection was created, because I wanted to bring in the brands that weren't readily available at your local shop and have a different option, right? And I also wasn't trying to step on their feet either, right? I wasn't gonna that was so I mean, of course, it's formed into this big thing now, and we've got kind of these 3 pillars of our brand, which is crazy and fun. And then so Parfection was created because my son, actually, we were coming up with a cool name, and he goes, Parfection. I'm like, done deal. That's perfect, right? I love it. And so that's how the name came. But now, like I said, I like to say we're kind of like a boutique online retailer. Initially I thought I wanted a store and I was going to carry everything, but we're a boutique retailer that kind of has the brands that nobody has and try to build them up and grow them. Because disc golf, I mean, it's going to sound weird, like these negative rituals, these are such great plastic. Anytime someone gets them in their hand, they're like, man, this is a really nice plastic. And I'm like, yeah, you probably never heard of it, because they're so small. So we have that side of our business where we do that, and we'll rotate brands in and out, just to keep everything fresh, which is kind of fun. And then I learn about new discs from all of our team members. I'm like, what is this brand? Never heard of this. I want it. So we have that. And then, just like every retailer, we all wanted, clothes with our logos on it and stuff, right? So then we started doing our clothing, and we came out with some really cool stuff that people actually like to wear, which is fun. So we have that focus too. We promote it as well because it's just cool to see people out wearing our stuff, right? And then our third pillar, which actually roll out next month, is we're distributing for a couple brands. So we're kind of like a baby infinite discs almost, that I want to say. So the first couple brands that we're bringing in is Negative Disc Golf. We'll be stocking all of them, hundreds of discs, and shipping them to retailers. Another one is Daredevil Discs, which is nice to do it in the U.S. too, because the Canadian customs and all that is a nightmare. Shipping is a nightmare. So it's kind of nice that if a local retailer or anyone wants it here in the U.S., they can just reach out. We'll have a wholesale portal that those retailers can log in and then order, Daredevil, and they won't have to. They'll get it. Probably we'll ship it out in a day, right? They won't have to pay all that crazy shipping from Canada, go through customs, worry about that. And so they'll get it even before that, right? So
wow.
That's kind of our goal. And again, it's helping the smaller brands get noticed, kind of do their marketing and that's it. So we got the 3 pillars. We got the boutique retailer, we got the clothing, and then we have the distribution model that's rolling out. So it's kind of fun. I didn't know it was going to be like this when we launched. I thought I was just going to be a disc golf store, right? And have a bunch of discs and who knows, but it's kind of formed into a kind of a couple different thing model here. So we're growing like crazy, and I love it.
Yeah. Speaking of Daredevil, like there's only 2 people I've ever known to throw Daredevil. Des, who I know and our local guy Jimmy Ray. Yep. Those are only 2 people I know that throw Daredevil.
Yep. So it's crazy. Again, they're a brand that nobody carries. They have a million molds, not a million, but they have some great flight number molds that I actually want to throw. And I would imagine the biggest problem of it being readily available is, one, not many people's heard of them unless you're like semi-north, right? And then 2, to get them, the shipping really is a nightmare. Like I was just I have a shipping guy. That's how cool it is. I have a shipping guy. His
Yeah.
name's Mike with Express Shipping. But he goes, "Hey man, I just got notification that customs has this, and something wasn't filled out, and we need to make sure we fill it out before they charge us storing. They charge you storing at customs, which is crazy." I'm like, "Man, just to get discs from Canada is insane." But luckily, he took care of everything, right? So it's that was really awesome. I don't have to worry about it. That shipping guy takes care of it, and then we get the product. So could you imagine, like, if your local shop just ordered like 20 of them, or something, and the nightmare just for 20 discs? You're like, it's not worth it. So we're hoping to change that, right? And it's not Daredevil's fault, right? They're not the ones shipping; it's the shipping company.
Yeah.
So we hope to kind of fight that a little bit and make it a lot easier. And bring in affordable discs with great plastic, again, premium plastics, and get them in hands. Because one of my favorite things, like, yeah, I have my discs, and it does change a lot, like, that are in my bag. But there is a lot of good plastic out there that people may never touch because they're in this area that has two shops, and the two shops only carry Innova, MVP, Discraft, right, and the big brands. But there's so much nice plastic out there, and it's kind of our thing to get it out there, get the word out. And we have an amazing team at Parfection. I think we have like 90 people. It's kind of crazy.
Wow.
And they're out there trying it out. We released team discs on rituals, just so it would go in people's hands and they would get excited because it had the Parfection logo on it, right? Versus just like their logo. So then they're out there throwing it and talking about it, and they're getting excited on the course, and it's everywhere. So I mean, that's the whole goal, and it's really cool for us to see that growth, and it's really cool for the manufacturer that does the hard work to do it too, right? Because I mean, I can tell you, negative, they're just a bunch of disc golfers, right? They're a bunch of guys that like to disc golf, and this was kind of like their hobby. And I'm like, guys, this is awesome. Like the hard work you guys do to create the art and stamp and go through a class, like, it's really good. We got to get it out there. How can I help? So that's kind of how the distribution model started talking about. And so we're like, let's roll it out. We got the warehouse space, and we have the shipping capabilities, which, like I said, I didn't know any of this was gonna kind of happen, and it just did. So I'm glad that everyone's been super supportive and keeps growing everything.
So have you ever thrown the Doomsday, what is it called, the cheese, that square thing?
So I've had them a million times, and I never kept one because they just sell, right? And there's a retailer.
I threw them. They fly straight as an arrow.
Ooh.
So as a retailer, you don't want to mark stuff up, right? And every time they would release, the cheese, you would just see like Facebook blow up, $50 for it. I'm like, guys, it's a $15 disc, like, and it's not even that much wholesale. Right, like we're gonna sell it for normal price, 15, $16, $20 max, just so people aren't getting screwed on this. Yeah, it sells out, but we were trying to be fair. Doomsday, they're one of the brands we carry too, not distribute, but for their boutique retailer. And one of the things they do really well is their limited stamps, limited discs, like the oxymoron. Like they're, before last year, they were really looked at the disc golf manufacturer that just made goofy discs, right? And experimented, and it helped them get noticed. But this year they came out swinging with the chemtrail, the psyop. Those are really, really, really big popular discs too in their own way without being goofy. And then they would run limited stamps, which as a consumer kind of sucked, because you're like, oh yeah, cool, the new chemtrails came out, boom, sold out. Oh no, now they're $50 again, just like the oxymoron. But as retailers, we couldn't keep them in stock. It's really smart from the manufacturer level. Retail is great for us, but we for the consumers, we've tried to make it as great as possible and not like take advantage of anyone. But smart marketing, right? At the end of the day, it's smart marketing. And doing those limited releases, I think everybody should look into, like manufacturers, because I know MVP does it a little bit too, and even Discraft. But those limited releases, I think our key is just to keep people hyped.
Yeah, for big hype, like I know MVP with those Gyro Palooza boxes, like that creates major hype
Yep. And it's not even like a inexpensive, which is great because they're not even inexpensive. You're paying $120 or whatever, right? Like it's not a cheap investment, but to them, they're getting 10 or 12 discs. I can't remember off the top of my head what's in there, right? And they're getting those into players' hands. It's like it's really, really smart marketing.
Yeah. I mean, the most expensive I've spent on a disc was the Saki Bomb Generals. I remember everyone making a big stink about those.
Yeah.
I bought like 4 or 5 of those. I was one of those guys. I was like, I need those ASAP because I love the Saki Bomb Felon. I was like, dude, I need those Generals right away.
Yep. I'll tell you the most I don't even know most expensive. I spent these whatnot auctions that have blown up this year are
Yeah.
insane. And even as a retailer that can pretty much buy any disc that we want, as long as it's available. I've been guilty of spending $60 on an unreleased disc from Gateway, and I'm like, why did I just do that? But it's cool. But it's so addictive too, right? Whatnot is crazy. I love it and I hate it at the same time. I love it because it's a great way for retailers that have like brick and mortar to get rid of some old product and stuff like that, or collectible items and things like that, right? It's easy for that to move and get decent profit. And it's also a great place for consumers to get this. Maybe slightly, at the end of the day, I'm going to say it's slightly cheaper shipping, depending on which whatnot. So like if you were going to buy a $20 disc on someone's website and they were charging $8, for shipping, buy it on Whatnot, it might be $1 less, but you might get shipping for $4, right? So Whatnot's great for that. Whatnot's not great is everyone bidding on those limited edition discs and things, and you're paying. Next thing you know, you're like, damn, I just spent $80 on a disc. I hope this is awesome, but it's really great for retail. It's really great for the pros, touring pros, for their fundraiser discs and things to move. Before they had to sell it out of their car or sell it on their website and hope to get traffic to it. Well, now they have this auction site, and everybody. I remember someone sold a ceiling or a fan blade one day. I'm like, what just happened? Like, you guys, what else do I have to sell in the house? Like, I'm out of this, but I'll sell you my ceiling fan blade. I'm like, what is going on? It's insane. But it's actually really cool to see the disc golf community, like, whoever bought it, that's awesome. And there's just, it's hanging on their wall for sure. But it's cool to see that, people think, overlook disc golf because it's a very niche sport. But there is some big things that casual player love, right? And they're passionate about, and they're going to buy the ceiling fan blade from their favorite pro because they can. And that's how crazy golf is. And people don't realize how big it is and how passionate people are. So the Whatnot platform is amazing. I think it's great. And it's a great way to get some discs. So that's the coolest thing from this year, I think, for platform wise.
Yeah, the Whatnot thing that we were just talking about. The first time I seen that or known anything about was when Ricky got dropped by DD, and he had tons of leftover stuff, and he's like, "Hey, tune in live. I'm selling all my dynamic discs and trilogy stuff." I'm like, "The heck is this?" And I tuned in. I was like, "Oh my goodness! I wish I had tons of money to spend on all this stuff."
Yeah, and the same as replay. I remember, oh man, who left Prodigy? I know a lot of people, but someone left Prodigy, and I'm having a brain fart. Maybe
Gannon Burr.
No, not Gannon Burr. This is recently. And I remember like Danny Beauchamp would email or message me on Facebook. He goes, "Bro, so-and-so's on there. Get rid of his whole collection because he's not playing next year." I'm like, "What?" Like, let me jump on and make him an offer, right? So I mean, it's a really, really good way because no matter what, like even that situation, or like I have a Saki Bomb Slammer on my wall right here, like it's still a good disc regardless of whose name's on it, right? And I'm glad to have it, and I still throw them too. It's also a good turbo putter as well because it's got that edge. But Whatnot's a great way for everyone. I think it's great. I think it's a great thing.
Yeah. So speaking of like basically coverage, so what kind of coverage do you watch? Do you watch more of the Pro Tour or kind of like more of what the foundation puts out?
I think both, really, because I mean, I even got my wife to watch like the Imposter series. Like what they do it is great, right? And maybe one day I can have something like that. But it's great to see, right? I love it. And filming content is awesome, and we need some high quality content, and Foundation hits it on the nose, right? When we were at the expo, I got to film some content with the Ace Brothers. So they just got back from
Yes, Ace Bros.
they just got back from filming the Creators Cup, right? They
Yeah.
couldn't tell me anything. They're like, it's going to air at the end of April, but hey, we just got back from it. But let's go throw and film some content, right? So I think it's great to have content creators and then companies like Foundation that has high quality, I guess you can say. I think that's good.
Yeah.
But I also like watching the coverage, right? You can be working and have it on. I mean, the coolest thing this weekend, I didn't even realize it. And I don't remember anyone talking about it really, but I was on Amazon Prime, like at my office, all Prime TVs, and it was just right there, Disc Golf Network. I think it was like the women's channel, women's sports channel had the FPO in the morning and stuff. I'm like, this is crazy. Why didn't no one talk about this? Like, I pay for the premium, membership, but it was so cool to see it actually on Amazon. Like, my grandma could turn on Amazon Prime and see that disc golf is on the TV, and that's a great way for the brand to get out, or for the sport to get out there, right? So, I mean, I don't know why I didn't hear about it before that. It should have been marketed like crazy, because that's awesome, and I love that.
Yeah.
So I watch both.
So are you going to apply to be a part of the Imposter season 3?
Probably not, man. I don't know. I'm not one. I suck at lying, so I couldn't go whole season with keeping my mouth shut. And I also like to talk crap, so I'd be awful. It would be a lot of fun, but and we watch it, and I'm always guessing, but no, I'm not. But who knows? Maybe one day. Could be fun.
Yeah,
what about you? Are you gonna apply to be on it?
I was thinking about, but then I was like, I'd have to be away from my family for a whole week, which I can't do. So I'm like, oh man. But like, and then my job as well. My job I have to like be nearby so I can go to work. Yeah. So kind of can't be away for a whole week. So yeah, I was thinking about it. I was like, oh, maybe I should apply, because why not? It'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
And then people would see how goofy I throw, and they'd think it's the weirdest thing in the world. So.
No. I mean, honestly, the funniest thing is just sorry, my dog said hi, but is how I throw funny. People think it's crazy that I throw my disc off a drive 90% of the time, and then turbo putt. They're like, what? Who am I carded with right now? Who the heck is this dude? But it makes it fun. They're like, how? Like, how is this possible? Yeah. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So, what are your goals for this year?
Yeah, I mean, as a player, is get my ratings up. I hate saying that, because it really, like, as someone that's never going to be a pro player, like, it's kind of pointless. But from a competitive standpoint, yeah, I want to be over 900 rated, right? I started just last year, and I think my first tournament, sanctioned tournament, I threw like plus 27. It was like a 700 rated round, right? And so it's been an uphill battle, right? But then within a year, I'm throwing 900. So I'm hoping to get up there, right? And so that's my, I guess, personal throwing goal. From the business, it's really to keep growing the brand, keep getting our name out there. Totally crush the distribution model. Our biggest thing is customer service. We love to help everybody. Our team is huge in playing it, and everyone's super, super awesome on the team. We have 5 or 4 captains now on our team, which is kind of crazy. And they're going to be a big part of just growing the team in general. Before it was, just one of us running it and sharing each other's stuff, but now we're doing it with a purpose, right? We have a plan, and so that's super great. And it's not even just like about growing our brand to be like the richest company, because that's kind of not the goal. We throw tournaments locally. It's just to be totally involved in the disc golf community and continue to do our part in growing the sport, right? It's never to be like sorry for the dog barking. Hey, hush. We just want to grow the sport, right? And we want to do our part on doing it. And if we get bigger doing it, cool. We just like to do it, right? We like to have fun. And disc golf is the coolest sport that you can play with everyone from all walks of the earth. And We did a charity event. Was one of our, like, it was like a fourth event. It was called Chains for Cheers. We had 62 people come out. We filled up 2 full cars of food. And when we were telling the mayor, hey, we're going to do this at the local park, he goes, oh, cool, sure. He goes, and then bring it to me. And, because the next day they hold like a turkey trot for their food drive thing, right, for the city. And we came and loaded up his truck. I think he was like, wasn't expecting this, right? It was high, but it's so cool that this golf community come together and all play a really big part. And now my wife is focusing more on the charity side of the sport and not the money aspect of it, right? And disc golf, there's so many people like veterans playing with PTSD, recovering alcoholics, drug addicts, but the sport, because of how accessible it is, makes it a nice, easy crutch out of that. Like, disc golf doesn't have to be a stoner sport, right? It can be a recovering sport too. You can have that. You can have both aspects, and we need to get. And I enjoy both sides, right? But like, it doesn't need to be classified as a stoner sport. It's a sport for everybody, and inclusive, right? Anybody can come out and do it. And we want to support everybody that comes and does it. It's a great, fun sport, low entry, and we can have fun doing it and just build a community.
Yeah. So as we're wrapping this up, do you have any questions for me?
What is your goals for the rest of this year? We're still fresh. Like, I've been watching you grow, like even just little details, like your backdrops just keep getting nicer and nicer and nicer, and you keep getting more things. What is this Seeker podcast goal this year to keep growing? Because I think it's a fun aspect. Obviously, I'm not going to start a podcast. I like to talk, sure. But what is your goal? Because I'm excited for your adventure as well, right? And you're growing your brand as well. Where do you want to go?
So the goal is what it always is. I just want to get as many players on the show as possible and share their stories. Like, that's the most important thing to me, is like, everyone's got a story and not everyone has a chance to share it. So my goal is to make sure everyone has a chance to share their story. Yeah. And through that, that's how disc golf will grow. Because I mean, a lot of people will connect between like, hey, I have a similar story. Hey, I want to reach out to this person. Or like, if like I get a military member, like someone who served in the military, and they're talking about like PTSD and how their disc golf is helping them through it, and then others will get a chance to possibly hear that story and be like, hey, I want to connect with this person, and then disc golf grows that way. I mean, so that's always the goal of this podcast. It's not to get like become so famous and everything. It's just more so focus on just get everyone's story out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. That's why I'm here. So, I guess last question: who's the best? Who's your not best? Because that's a bad loaded question. Who's your favorite guest that you've had on that you look back, you're like, that was so cool. That was great. It doesn't even need to be like that person was cool. Like a great story. Like, holy crap! I'm so glad I brought you on here, because a story or something is just phenomenal. I relate with it, and everyone's gonna relate to it.
It's hard to pinpoint, because like everybody's story is just so fascinating to me. Yeah. Like every time I have a guest, I'm like, this is phenomenal, and then the next guest comes on, I'm like, wow, this is great. So I can't really pinpoint it, because everyone's story is so unique. Yeah, absolutely. I love that. But yeah, that's all I had. I appreciate you having me on here and talking about us and our pathways and what our goals are. It's always awesome to talk about it. And in 5 years, when we do this again, and I look back, I'm like, holy crap, I had a dog barking in my video. I was speaking on a corner. I'm in a bedroom with some bunch of garbage, because we just had an expo, like, and now we're in this big old warehouse doing this conversation. And same with you, right? So yeah, it's fun to watch it start and blossom. Like, we haven't even been doing this a year, and we're just getting started, and we're ready for it. Yeah. So last question I have for you is, where can people find you to follow your guys' journey? Yeah, you can follow us on social media, Parfection Disc Golf, or me, Adam Molbeck, DG, and on Instagram. I don't do a lot of YouTube. I'm not crazy. I'm too old. I don't have TikTok. Like, I'm not cool. But everyone else does, right? So follow them. But parfectiondiscs.com. If you're a retailer, we'll have a wholesale portal. You can reach out to us, and we can get you set up with that if you want to come try some smaller brands and easy entry into it.
or you can find us locally. We partner with the city as well. We just signed a contract to do 20 farmers markets with them. Not only are we running our booths and stuff where we sell merch and discs, is we run their booths now and their merch side by side. So it's kind of a cool partnership that we got going on. We're super excited. We're hosting a kids event at it to get them introduced to disc golf too, which is fun. But yeah, the city's been so supportive on this, and we owe them a lot. And we're getting right back. So come say hi to us if you're local. We'll be at every farmers market in Oak Creek, Wisconsin. Follow us online, parfectiondiscs.com, Parfection Disc Golf on Instagram, or Adam Molbeck DG on Instagram. Come check us out.
Yeah. All right, cool. Thank you for being my guest tonight.
Man, I appreciate it. This has been awesome, and I look forward to all the future guests too.
Yeah, definitely post out how your tournament goes. I'm definitely interested.
Will do, unless I biff it bad. But yeah, all right, man, I appreciate it.